So I'm happy that I marked the new sets of Music Lily I bought off of Amazon with all the black dots on the back of them. Because after I finished the fretwork and I went through the 12 tuners tightening up the buttons, look, only one of the 6 of the new set from Amazon, Music Lily on Amazon, was good. The rest of them had anywhere from an eighth to a quarter slop in them, and these original ones are an eighth to a less slop in them. So they're quite nice now. Buttons are tight and they're quite responsive. I mean, those things are still a little bit loose. I mean, the posts, right? That one's tighter. I got 2 tight posts once they're in with the collars, but they're all tightened down and screwed in. This neck is done. The string trees have been replaced and it is ready to go. So the nut is around here somewhere. Here's a nice bone nut. I don't know if it fits the slot. Oh, it almost fits the slot. This is a bone nut that I was working on for another guitar, and then I found out there was a bone nut on the guitar. Oh, I think it was the Donner. So this almost fits here. As far as width goes, there's a tiny little bit in the middle that needs to be shaved down, and then it'll fit the slot. And I'm stuck. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's just a little bit of thickness here in the middle that has to be shaved off, and it'll go right in. And then I'll see if it's high enough, because the other one looks a little bit higher, but it was too high to begin with. The strings were too high. So I'm thinking, because the strings were too high, the new nut might be pretty much right in the spec range that I'm looking for my gap over the first fret. 18 on the bass, 16 on the treble. I know other people use up to 20, but with up to 20, if you press down here, you change the pitch of the note in this fret. You do not get what you want. It always goes sharp. 18 is the closest you can get. Now, wow, the edge of these frets are so buttery smooth now. So nice compared to what they were. Woo! Okay, time to look at the body, and then specifically seeing if this new 6-barrel bridge will fit in exactly the same position with the same 4 mounting holes as the current one. Okay, so I've just taken the control plate off, and they did not disappoint here in really bad work. The soldering is just atrocious, and it looks like somebody made a mistake here. There's a black wire that was soldered here, and then it was just snipped there wherever they were sending it to. I'm noticing that might have been the wire that should have gone to the plate. There's no ground wire going into the base plate. There's only the red pickup wire, which I'm presuming it's going in there because the blue one's going up this way. So yeah, it looks like they didn't ground the base plate. Somebody cut it off. Way to go, Licks Not Pro. One more thing on the list. Wow. The list keeps growing of poor things I find on this guitar. I'm telling you, I have not had any other guitar to date with this many things that are just so bad on a budget guitar. I just have not. So I might as well just undo the solder on the neck pickup at the same time. Get this control plate right out of my way. Alright, let me go for the top wire first. See if I can get that out of there. Alright, now the ground. Alright. That's not going to stay on there anyway because the box switch is going to go. So I might as well undo it while I'm there. I will put in the ground wire for the bridge plate. Black, the black, the black, the black. Wow, that's quite a clump of wires there. I can see why they didn't want to just clean that off. They made such a big clump of solder there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip off myself the jack wires right close by. I'll clean those up just to get this out of the way. There's plenty of wire to be able to do the twisting that I would normally want to do on it, and still, yep, all the frayed wood with the paint on it is in there. Okay, now what I came here to do was to check the bridge. Now that that's out of the way, I'll be able to pull that out, and the wire, and I'm missing the bigger bit. Didn't even ground the bridge base plate. That's another first. I haven't had anybody else not do that. I don't mind using that when look at that, eh? Big ceramic pickup. How's the magnet? Wow. Not very magnetic. When they're loose, I don't mind doing that. Got 3 very long screws, and at least they did route the holes where the screws would go down in the light. There, you can just barely see that. At least they did that. Push that out of the bridge. Let me see. Oh, I really don't like all that stuff there. Oh, the reach for all this stuff up there in front of me. Oh, double drilled a hole on both ends. They screwed it up. They buggered it up. Even that. Look at that. Lux Pro knot. Double screw holes on both ends. I kid you not. Double screw holes on both ends. All right, I've got almost. This double screw hole over here doesn't seem to know whether it wants to be there or it wants to be here. I think it's there. So I think yes. That is going to allow me to use this bridge on this body without having to do that much of anything to it. It really irks me that they did that. That makes these two holes a little bit weak. Can I do something with that? I might have some bamboo that I'll be able to fill that in. Yes, I have some bamboo that I can snip, fill in those holes. A little bit better. Like that. Since I'm not re-drilling them, I don't need to put any glue on them. I just need them to support the wall for the other screws where the actual hole is going to be. How big are those holes? These are the original screws. How are they different from the ones that came? Which ones will be better to put back in those holes? Original. Here's these damn little bags I hate. Or the new ones. So this is going to be outside of the camera view there. So this has a tapered head and fits in that hole well. Where is that new plate that I want to put on there? Oh, there it is. Now they gave me screws that are not tapered like the originals. And I found that sometimes, yeah, see, that screw is not the right screw for this bridge. And this is another Music Lily thing where they don't seem to think sometimes that the screws that are provided matter. So the original screws will work better because they're flatter, fitting into the tapered hole. And I found sometimes on some other things that, on saddles, is that when you have some screws in there which have these heads that will actually stick up higher than they should, they will hit some of the set screws when you're trying to do the intonation, and that's not so good. No. So we're just going to clean the bottom of that. And I am going to get some wire to be able to stick in that pocket as well. But before we do all of that stuff, I'm going to take this pick guard off as well. I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to clean this body. This body has white powder and stuff all over it. Yep, no good. So I'm going to clean all that up around here. Oh, look at all the stuff that came off of this thing. There's still stuff falling off this part of the neck here, and the stuff that came out of here. So I have to vacuum all this up. So here it is underneath the pick guard. I wonder what that is. Oh, it's a chunk off of that edge. It was a big drip of paint, but it's a strange, it's like a plasticized, a polyized chunk, and then it's black on the outside but sort of translucent on the inside, and it goes right to the basswood there. It's obviously white underneath this black. Look at that. This is when people really don't care about any kind of quality whatsoever. I mean, there's bad, and there's bad. There is a farmyard full of sheep on this one. Clean up around those holes. It's a little NAFTA. I'll do a good cleaning with the wax. This magnet is about on par for most of those size magnets. And I got dirt on my table again. Okay, so a measure of success using some stuff. Turns out that the best stuff to use was my Simonized Ultra Gloss to get off what I needed to get off. So take a look at this corner up here. You can see all the swirls and the stuff that's on the body that, you know, came on it. Not counting the stuff under the pick guard, which is really not really been worked on. And the back was similar to that, and now much better. There's some dust all over it now because it's on this pad that has some granules in it, which I guess I'm going to try to shake out. But it has turned out visually here quite better than it started. So I am going to perform a similar exercise on the front and get that cleaned up as best I can as well before population. I don't know about you guys, but that makes a huge difference now. Yes, indeed. I even got a lot of the smear off that was underneath where the pick guard was, and got that kind of buffed out a bit. So this body is really light basswood, so it's not going to be heavy in any way, shape, or form. All right, I have to put a stop and go do something else for a bit. All right, so I mounted the new bridge. I had to take all the barrels off of it. So I went to the drill press and got this all set up with a nice sponge underneath for it to come through on, and I haven't got the distance to use the drill press to do this. This is problematic. This is problematic. Worries me because to have to do the brad bit by hand is very, very dangerous. I know because I did it on one of the Tele bills in order to open the holes up a little bit larger to get the modern ferrules in the back instead of the vintage ferrules, and it was mayhem. I have to do some more thinking. It's going to remain a top loader, but with a 6-barrel intonation bridge and a brand new Wilkinson pickup in the bridge and a ground wire for the bridge. So that's what's going to happen there. Now, I like this cream color on it much better than the bright white. Some people may not, but that kind of speaks to me. So let's see where it goes. Next thing is to make a final decision on that or this. Get the new Wilkinson neck pickup installed. Nice weight. Get the control panel switched out with this box switch out, and get this cap out of there and put a 33 in that max. And I found out that they have used 500K pots on here and not 250s. That's okay because I was thinking of 500s myself, so they avoided me having to worry about that. Woo, something good. I've decided to be a bit lazy about it and go with the white one because I didn't want to have to fill some of the holes and re-drill them. And then when I went to mount this new pickup, it doesn't fit in the hole just by a tiny little bit because it's wider this way, lengthwise. So, gotta go get my little Dremel and open that up a bit. On my way to the Dremel, another idea caught me. Why not just go with the rat tail file since it's such a small amount that you need? And just going around like that on both of the ends. Gave it to me. She's going in there. Boom. Looks pretty. Alright, we're going to get that mounted up. These tiny little springs, I like to give them just a little bit of a pull before I put them in there so I have a little bit more tension. Of course, it makes it a little bit harder, but it gives me a little bit more control with the pickup. Ta-da! Have to clean that off. But it's looking like it's going to work. And it is time to mount the new blade switch. So gets the switch upgrade. Where's the hole? There it is. There it is. Now we should be able to find the other hole relatively easier. And it works. Snug as a bug. Alrighty. Oh, almost got my glove caught underneath. Alright. We need to clean up some stuff around here. Alrighty. Standard three-way blade switch wiring is pretty easy. It goes basically like that. This is the A side of the switch, the B side of the switch, and it doesn't matter which way you mount it. It could be mounted with the plate this way or the other way around. Doesn't matter. Whichever way you're looking at it like this, the left side is A, the right side is B. So that makes it easy. So on a standard Telecaster three-way wiring, 1, 2, 2, and 3 delegate jumper together. The hot from the bridge goes in here, the hot from the neck goes in there, and output to the volume control comes off of there. And your common or your grounds from your pickups just go to the back of the pots where there's a common ground. And the common ground, you know, is going to be this plate, which is mounted to the pots. This wire going between them is virtually unnecessary. So that's what's going to happen. The Wilsonson pickups all have just black and white wires. I also twisted the wires coming from the pickups, as well as I'm going to twist the ones going to the output jack, which are also black and white. So everything's black and white in the cavity, except for the mauve, which is ground for the base plate.